topics are discussed, any attempt for the debate between faiths, between ethnicities, or on political grounds uh, is discouraged because we want to create a safe space for those to learn and to speak. So, with that, just give me a second. So, yes, with that, we start the meeting in earnest and welcome you all once again. So, as I was saying earlier, that Quantum Leap Advanced Toastmasters Club is an advanced Toastmasters Club. It celebrates and aims to impart the passion of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and other human sciences back into our educational culture, something which we've lost the sight of for the past decades, maybe. And it's ironic given that I myself am a chartered accountant. So is our keynote speaker today. But we also understand, and this is a development that has happened over the past few years, that sustainability and sustainability standards have been started to be integrated into financial reporting. And that means that we, chartered accountants in our profession, or anyone related to financial reporting and disclosures, we are now bound to take into consideration sustainability and environmental, social, and governance. So this is a very interesting development for the past few years. So we have quite a few guests here with us today, and we asked you to introduce yourself one by one. Please try to be brief. So starting with Mr. Mohammed Akram, would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, moving on to Mr. Malik Ali Raza. Okay, very people later. Mr. Saqib Hussain.
लेकिन पूछ क्या रहा है माइक बंद कर साले माइक बंद कर
Okay, Mr. Abdul Razak. Okay, Malik Ali Raza, please introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. And I'm hearable. मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am Malik Raza and I am a finalist. And here I am to understand basically how banks facilitate businesses and how I can analyze different offers made by bank to a person like me for car loan and house loan and as a business individual like different interest rates. How can I evaluate different offers from them? Thank you.
Okay, welcome. We are thrilled to have you. Thank you so much for the introduction. Mr. Abedullah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum. This is Abedullah. I'm a ICW finalist, and I want to learn about the personal financing, like what is SIP, how can a person save the his money, and the compounding effect and the market dynamics as per the economy of the country and the worldwide effect on the economy, like stock exchange, mercantile exchange, etc. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We are thrilled to have you. Mr. Farjad Ashfaq. Mr. Shafqat Javed. Okay, back to some familiar faces. Toastmasters of fun.
Vidyam Tara, you're talking about me?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Please.
okay. I am DTM Umar Farooq Awan, and I am from district Chakwal, Punjab, from Pakistan, and I've been living in Saudi Arabia for past 12 years. I have been a past area director, president of two clubs in Riyadh and Al Khobar. By profession, I am a senior internal auditor, and it has been great to be part of this meeting. Thank you for having me.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Umar Farooq. We also have Toastmaster Lateef Mansoorali. Please introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Introduction will be little too long, but I really love the flyer, and I'm a very profound of hobby for like book reading. Actually, just now started. So for me, every meeting, if you attend, you will learn something, a new chapter, a new book from someone's life, and that might help me in future. So that's the only thing which I joined for, and hopefully it will be a fun. Thank you, DTM Talab. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Okay, thank you so much. So today's agenda I'm putting in the chat box and also in the club group. And DTM Ajay, we are requested to take over as the journal evaluator. I will be the language evaluator, and yes, we also have Toastmaster Ikra Arshad. Toastmaster Ikra, please introduce yourself. Although we know you very well, but
Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Ikra Arshad. I am a procurement official at Century Prepend Board Mills, and currently I am the president of Centurions Toastmasters Club.
thank you so much. And it turns out that I did not update the timings in the agenda, so let's make do with whatever we have right now. Just assume that 11 means 2:30. Okay, and let's work our way from there. I'll try to amend it while we go along. And yes, so in the meantime, so today the theme of our Toastmaster Babar Ali, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Toastmaster Babar from Express Toastmaster Club.
Yes.
I'm
And what brings you here? Please let us know a little bit about yourself.
I can't hear you clearly, I guess.
Am I not audible clearly? Can someone confirm? Okay.
You're clear.
Yeah.
Okay, much better.
Okay.
So I'm Toastmaster Babar from Express Toastmaster Club. I am working with UNICEF and local government of Sindh.
Okay. Thank you. Great to have you. Mr. Shajil Riaz, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm Sharjeel Riaz and I'm working as a BI consultant at Teradata. And it's my third cohort with Toastmasters in Leadership Development Path. Thank you.
Okay, great to have you. Great to have you. And yeah, so do we have any other guests? Any other guests who would like to introduce themselves?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I am Shafqat Javed from Amir Rashid and Co लाहौर से। मैं सीए का स्टूडेंट हूँ और यहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग कर रहा हूँ। ओके सर, अल्लाह हाफिज।
Okay, great to have you. So now it is time to move our Toastmaster of the day. And Toastmaster of the day is someone very special because he's been part of Quantum Peak for quite some time. And this will be his first time doing this particular role. So now I'll hand over the charge to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim. And Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim, please introduce yourself first, and then we can move on to the meeting.
Thank you very much, dear Toastmaster Talha. It's a pleasure to be on this call with so many people here. It's quite a beautiful day here in Riyadh, where I am based, working as an investment counsel to a Saudi business group. I have been part of the Toastmaster Club for quite some time, and this is the first time I am acting as the Toastmaster of the day. So it's I hope that this is something that would be looked at as more of an evolution rather than someone acting as a pro Toastmaster of the day. The theme of the day, is quite close to my heart. The science of money. The thing about everything about life is that it's about numbers, and when you are able to crack the code on how things work, put together a procedure to it, it makes sense and makes it easier to manage and prepare yourself with different aspects of any particular subject. Given you talk about traveling, you talk about psychology, you talk about healthcare, and of course about money, things make a lot of sense when you are able to look at it systematically. And that's what the theme of today's session is. And I welcome Toastmaster Azam Ali to deliver his session on the project planning and the finance aspect of the project planning and the capital projects. We look forward to learning from his experience as a chartered accountant, who obviously is a big recognition in itself, and his experience with Century Paper Mills and with the audit firm Deloitte. I believe that we are going to leave this meeting a lot smarter on the project finance and investment planning and how to look at things in a more scientific way. I welcome Toastmaster Azam Ali to the rostrum, please.
I'm here. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you well. You're on mute now.
No, I'm actually using two gadgets. So
Okay.
that's why you make it. Okay, should I start? Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
very
will.
much.
Yeah. How long is your keynote, DTM?
I will try to finish in less than 20 minutes.
Okay, fine. Then I'll time it for 18 to 20. Okay.
Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is evaluate borrowing options and capital projects. And in my opinion, there are two types of borrowing. One is the personal borrowing, and second is the bank borrowing, or the borrowing from the financial institutions. As far as the personal borrowing is concerned, this type of borrowing is highly unstructured. For example, if someone borrow money from you, there are rare chances that you will get your money back. Either he will not return the money, or he will return after a very long time, and instead of being happy, you will be frustrated. And there are numerous types of such borrowings. People borrow the money, people borrow the clothes, people borrow the bikes, people borrow the vegetables, tomato, potatoes. And one of my friends said that there is also a law of Newton about the personal borrowing. And he said that you can lend money to someone after hearing their sorrow. You can lend money to someone after hearing their sorrow, but even after sharing a million of your own sorrow, you won't get it back. And there is also a quote about the personal borrowing and lending. And it is, if you want someone to remember you forever, if you want someone to remember you forever, borrow money for him and never return it. So as far as the personal borrowing is concerned, I have only one suggestion, and it is based on my personal experience that if you feel that someone is needy, if you feel that someone is not needy, don't give him the money. And if you lend the money for whatever the reason, never expect that your money will come back to you. So this will make your life happy and easier. Now come to the second part, which is the topic of today, the borrowing from the bank. This type of borrowing is widely used by the organizations. But it is also relevant with the individuals. Like nowadays, people get the car on lease. People borrow the money for the construction of the houses to start the new business. And as far as the organization are concerned, organization usually have trained people, qualified people to evaluate the borrowing options. But the individual which don't have financial background often struggle to evaluate the borrowing options from different banks, which are offered by the different banks. So today I'm going to share a simple working, which may be helpful, which I believe that will be helpful for those people who don't have the financial background. So let me share my screen. So here is a blank Excel file. And let's take an example that if you want to lease a car and the person from a bank told you that he can give you a car, the original price of the car is 3.6 million. And he said you have to pay down payment of 150 million and you have to pay 20 more installments to get your car on lease. So if I calculate this, that initially I have to pay 150,000 and 20 installment of 200,000, sorry. So it's a 4 million. So total I have to pay 4.15 million. And the person from the bank told you that you will have to pay it in the 21 installment. And 21 installments. So you have to pay extra 50,000 extra. So if you divide this 50,000 on 21 months, it is just 26,000. And in terms of percentage, this will be only 0.73% per month multiplied by 12. It's 8.73%. So you will have to pay only 8.73% markup. But let me tell you that this is all rubbish. This is totally untrue. As a financial people, the actual cost is much more higher. And it is what I'm going to discuss today. So let me draft a working to analyze that how much cost actually you will have to pay to the bank. So I'm opening another window. And let's start from the number of periods. So number of period, we will start from the 0. 0 means the starting point. And in the maths, 0 is very important, you know, that 0 can convert any number into another number. And then it's the starting point, then there will be the 20 more periods. So I will make that this financial will continue for the 20 periods. Okay. Then there will come that how much you have to pay. Let me also mention the cost of the car here. That is the 3.6 million. Okay. Then against this amount of money, you have to pay initial down payment and the future installment as well. So I'll say that it is cash outflow, or you can also say it the payments. So initially you have to pay 150,000. So this is very tricky, that how much you are paying. Sometimes whatever the bank person is saying, you may have to pay much more. Like you have to pay the processing charges, and there are many hidden charges. So you have to discuss in detail that what are the charges, what is actually you have to pay. For example, that he say that the car insurance is also included and processing charges are also included, and total of these is 50,000. So your initial payment will increase to 150 to 200,000. So in every period, you will calculate that how much you have to pay, not actually whatever the banking person is saying. We will take the actual payment. And this will continue for the next 20 periods. I will keep it down. So I just enter the figure here and I continue it here. So data entry point is highlighted by yellow and rest is the formula. So I do the same thing in the other calculations. The second part is the interest, how much interest you have to pay. So I'm making the heading here. So interest include the percentage first. So as he said that it's a 9%. So initially take the 9%. But don't believe on it. We will change it later on. I'll take the 9%. Again, I can use this figure in the formula, but I will carry on for the next period as well. Similar as I copy paste the cash outflows. So here it is. Again, the entry point is here. If I change it, the whole column will change. The interest is calculated on the basis of number of days. So in the interest, first thing is the percentage. And second thing that for how many days the percent and for how many days you are going to pay the interest. So for the first period, that is a down payment, there is number of days are 0. So I'll mention here the 0. And let's assume the remaining are the monthly installments. The monthly means for the purpose of convenience, I'm taking the 30 for every month. So again, I will carry it forward through the formula. Here it is. Again, I'm going to highlight the entry point with the yellow. It's a yellow. Now come that how much interest the bank is going to charge you. Let's say if he say that the interest is 9%. After first month, how much interest when bank will charge? So I'm going to make the formula for this. Of course, for the first period, that is a 0 period, there will be the, I'm saying rupees. The markup will be the 0 in terms of rupees. But for the first period, of course, the bank will charge something. So I will first calculate the annual interest by multiplying. And how the bank will charge the interest? He will charge on the opening balance. For every period, he will charge the interest on the opening balance. In the first period, opening balance is the cost of the car, that is 3.6 million. I will just multiply it with the 9% here. And this will come to the annual interest. But I need the, not annual interest, monthly interest. So I will divide it by 12. Sorry, divide by 12. So for the first period, bank will charge you the interest 27,000, provided that the interest rate is 9%. So I am also bringing it here down. So if the bank is charging 27,000 and taking 200,000 in the first month, how much principal amount the bank is getting? Principal amount mean how much original cost the bank is getting. I'm going to give him a different color. So if you are paying 200,000 and bank is charging 27,000 interest, it means that I will subtract 27,000 from 200,000. So it means that bank is charging 173,000 for the first period. And after first period, how much balance is remaining? I'm saying it balance. Balance is original cost 3.6 million minus the principal payment. So of course, bank will charge 27,000 and only he will deduct 173,000 from the original balance. So this will be your balance. So you need to understand the first thing carefully, because I'm going to copy paste this formula for the next periods, and we will calculate all the amounts for all the periods. So here I'm going to just copy for the next period. For the next period, sorry, it is copy paste. Here is the formula. For the next period, your balance is not 3.6 million, it was 3.4 million. So interest is also lesser, which is 25.7 thousand. And your principal amount will increase for the next period, that is 174,000. And your balance will also, let me copy paste it. Balance will also reduce accordingly. Okay. So as we will move forward, your interest amount will decrease, as the interest amount was decreased from 27,000 to the 25,000. It means that for the subsequent periods, the interest amount will decrease. And let me copy paste the formula till the end. This is copy and I enter. Sorry. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, this is the calculation for all the periods. This is the interest bank is going to charge for every month. This is the principal payment, and this is the balance. But you see that the last figure, the balance at the end of the term should be 0. Because if you have paid all the amounts, the balance should be 0. It means that bank is not charging 9%. Bank is charging the different percentage. Had he charged the 9%, the balance, the closing balance of the bank, the principal payment of the bank should be 0. Let me sum it up, the principal column as well. This is the sum. So bank has charged 3.7 million instead of 3.6 million, which is not correct. Bank should have charged 3.6 million. I'm copying it to the interest as well. Bank is charging for the total term. Bank is charging 82,000 interest, and bank is taking 3.7 million. The figure of 3.7 million is wrong, because bank is charging actually more interest rate, more interest amount. So how can we reach on that amount? So first of all, I will use a simple method. Then I will also use a formula as well. For a simple method is that come to this point 9% and change it. I make it that bank. I suppose that bank is not charging 9%. He is charging 7%. I put the 7%. But my closing balance here 185,000 is increased instead of decreasing. So I will use a higher percentage here. So let me use the 15%. On 15%, it becomes positive. So it means that I need the 0 at the end. So I'm going to decrease it. It's going down. I need 12 is 11,000, I'm using the 13%. So on 12%, it was negative. On 13%, it is going positive. So your interest rate, actual interest rate which the bank is going to charge is between 12 to 30%, right? So let me try one more percentage, 12.5%. It is coming near to zero. I'm using 12.7. No, 12.3. It is 52. It's now near to zero. It means that bank is charging not 9%, bank is charging 12.3%. So here is the actual percentage. And for this purpose, we can also use a formula to make this figure zero. We can use a formula, and this formula in Excel is known as the goal seek. So I'm again going back, I'm taking it 8%. At 8%, it is 152,000. So I want to make this value zero through a formula. So I'm going to the goal seek. Goal seek, the formula is in the data. In the what if analysis, here is the goal seek. So goal seek is asking for your target cell here. So I'm giving him the target cell is my cell with that I want to make zero. Here. He said, what value you want to make it? I'm saying that I need it here zero. And here we say what cell should I change? I will click here and go to my cell of interest, 8%. Now my figures are complete. I will push the OK, and the Excel will calculate the zero here. Here, okay. So here it is, the final calculation, which we try to calculate through hit and trial method. Actual rate is 12.3%, which is making this amount zero. And here, if you see in the bottom, the bank is charging, getting all his money back, 3.6 million, and actual interest bank is taking is 400,000 from you. So through this method, you can assess that how much bank is charging. So you don't have one option. You consulted to multiple banks, and another bank gave you some option. To calculate the value of actual interest rate of that bank, I'm going to copy paste this whole sheet, and I will change few figures there. So create a copy. Here it is. So here is the copy. It's I'm changing this option 2. This is option 1. And this is option 2. In option 2, let's suppose that the second bank is saying that you have to pay 300,000 initially for 10 periods. 300,000 for the 10 periods. 10 periods ended here. These are the 10 periods. And for the subsequent periods, you have to pay 100,000. So in total, you have to pay 33.8 million. The first bank was saying that you have to pay the total 4 million. Total 4 million, 4.2 million. And this bank is saying that you have to pay 3.8 million. Okay. Now what we will do, we will only check that how we can make this figure zero by changing the interest rate here. So again, I will use, instead of hit or trial, let's try a method of 15%. It's going up. I'm using the 10%. It's coming down 8.9%, 87,000. So instead of hit and trial method, I'm using the formula. That is a goal seek. I go to the goal seek, open it. I set this cell, this is my target cell. I want to make this value zero, and by changing cell, this one. Okay. Okay. So this bank option is 8.3%. The first option, the bank was charging the interest rate of 12.3%, while in the second option, bank is charging interest rate 88.3%. So in this way, you can evaluate the multiple options, but there is need to understand that in the cash flow, you will take the cash flow, actual cash flow, including all the charges. Either the insurance charges, tracking charges, processing charges, all the cash flow will come into this column. Then you will calculate the interest and you will subtract the interest from the monthly installment to get the principal amount. And then you will apply the formula to calculate the interest rate. So with that, I'm going to stop the sharing option and floor is open for the Q&A.
Thank you so much, DTM Azam. And now we have about 5 to 10 minutes for question and answer. So please just raise your hand and go ahead with any question that you have.
Umar Farooq.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, in the keynote, the title was like borrowing options and the capital projects. So how we evaluate the capital projects? So what are the things that we know? So we need to consider. I think that the approach will be different for that. Thank you.
Yeah, capital projects is a little bit different. I think this will take another 20 minutes. But I can give you a simple, for the non-finance people, I can give you a simple tip that you went to the bank, you are calculating with the perspective of the customer that you are going to get the lease. But if you change your chair, if you sit on the banker side, this whole working is also for the bank. Bank also prepares such working. The only difference is that he also subtract his operational cost, the administration cost, the employee salaries implies. Otherwise, the working will be similar. But if I'm going to explain it in detail. The short. This may not happen in the short time. I can request another session for the evaluation of that option.
Great, DTM Azam. We are always looking for keynotes, so you can be our guest in one of our future meetings. I will consider that as a confirmation from your side, and I'll just convey you the date, right? So, okay, Azam, I have a question. Is there a good? So, what you told us and what you taught us was how to calculate the real cost of financing, and you gave us some very valuable tools. But when we receive a repayment schedule from a bank, right, for a lease or a loan, how do we actually assess and evaluate it? Is there a guide, or can you give us one or two tips on how to go about actually evaluating?
How to meet the commitments?
No. How to actually evaluate that repayment schedule that we receive from the bank? What to look out for? What points should we start with? Just like you let us know how to calculate our actual cost of financing, right? So how we evaluate something like a repayment schedule received from the bank?
As far as your part is concerned, of course, you have to assess that how you are going to repay these amounts. You have to check your personal cash flow, the cash flow which is going to be generated by the business, the cash flow which you are getting through the salary. I think your question, I think the voice problem, I'm not clear that I'm going to reply the correct answer. But I think you have to assess your personal cash flow, because when you are going to borrow something, you expect that you have sufficient cash flow in the future.
Actually, DTM Azam, what I meant to ask was that, for example, we apply for a loan or a lease, right? And the bank gives us a repayment schedule. So in that repayment schedule, as you yourself also demonstrated, that things may not be as they seem, right? So how does one evaluate that repayment schedule? what are the couple of key points that we should look for in a repayment schedule?
In the repayment schedule, I believe that, of course, you have to look at all the terms and conditions. That what are the terms and conditions in the agreement? What, as I said, what are the charges? What are the hidden charges? What are the other costs and the future? So the discussion with the banks and the review of the agreement is a source where you can assess that what you are going to repay in the future.
So we should look for the charges, hidden charges, fine print also, and determine the BL cost. Yes. So yes. So the floor is still open for questions. Anyone like go ahead? Yes. I think okay. There are 2 raised hands. I think Toastmaster Bilal raised a microsecond earlier. So Toastmaster Bilal, you go first.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster for giving me the opportunity. My question, because I'm not a technical person for this forum, because you all are qualified in government for the people. So my question is, what do you, as I'm planning to get the leave from bank for a call. So my question is, what do you think? What are the things that I should consider to select a bank? And next question is, how bank calculate a company, because it's a company loan on a company base. What are the key things a bank look into the company's strength to give out financing, any financing?
Yes, actually due to the risk. Sorry, I'm getting it. Okay, actually bank is actually bank is concerned about the return of his money as well as the interest. So it is always important to look at the health of the company. So do you know that the interest rate of the bank for the different type of organization is different? The organization who have better background, who have large size organization, the interest rate is different. For the small size organization, the bank charge the higher rate. And it is due to the risk of the bank involved in the company and organization. When asks you the different question, he take the different documents to assess the health of the company. On the basis of that, their internal department assess that what interest rate should be charged. Or they have predefined categories to charge the interest rate to the different companies. So bank is have proper procedure to assess go for the risk assessment of the company. On the basis of that, the bank give the loan. And the better is your company, the lesser you will get the interest rate. Like in our organization, presently the KIBOR is 13%, bank charge only 1% or 1.2% KIBOR plus rate. This means that we are paying around 15%. But if the bank gives the loan to the individual, bank is charging around 25% to 30%. So in this way, bank vary its interest rate to the customer. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Latif.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. DTM Azam, actually, my question is about, I want to say it in Urdu, actually. Let me say it in Urdu only, because वो दिल की बात निकलेगी. अब तो मैं धोखा खा चुका हूँ. मैंने लोन ले लिया 7% पे. अब मैं उसके ऊपर क्लेम कर सकता हूँ कुछ या सू कर सकता हूँ उनको, because on their application it is still saying 7%, but the amount which I am paying, I know it is more than that.
Yes, as I told you, that's the bank actually the interest rate is different, and whatever I calculate, we say it IRR, the actual interest rate. So whenever you are going to take the loan from any bank, whenever someone say you that he's going to charge the 8% or 10%, the first question that you should ask that what is the IRR of the loan? IRR means the actual cost. As far as the payment, later payment are concerned, the bank are very disciplined organization. They make proper agreement which include and each and everything. You say that whenever you are taking the credit card or loan, there is, I think, the 100-page agreement which includes so many term condition, and you say okay without reading it, because you believe on the person who come for the marketing. Okay, so it's the art of the marketing people that they don't actually show the original amounts. They don't show that what you are going to pay actual. So even if it's showing 7%, but whenever you go to the for any complaint, they will show you your agreement that these are the terms where you are going to be charged. So there are rare chances. So the best chance you will pay less money is the time when you are going to sign the agreement. This is the time where you should make all the calculation that what you are going to pay in future. This is the time where you can assess the actual interest rate.
Okay, I'm sorry. Does it mean like instead of 5 years, I take loan for 4 years?
The number of periods, the number of periods, I think may not be relevant, but the actual cost you are paying is relevant. Like I calculate in one case is a 30%, second case 80%, 8%. So this is important, that how you are going for the smart working, how you are comparing the different options. So on the basis of your analysis, you can avoid the extra charges and extra payments. And as far as the marketing people are concerned, they don't show the real picture. And sometimes I feel that it is not their fault, because they don't have the technical background. They are telling you what are told to them by their seniors and by their marketing department. So whenever the financial people ask the technical question, the marketing people hardly reply that question. So they only know about the marketing and to catch the customer.
Thank you so much, DTM Azam. And now we are past the time for the Q&A session, but thank you for your question. Thank you for your keynote. And now I hand over the charge. And of course, everybody, it has been officially now confirmed that DTM Azam will be returning for another keynote on investment development in the near future.
But
so Steve,
yes, I didn't give the time when I
of course, in the near future. So Steve, stay tuned, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon and whatever to stay connected to Quantum Leap. And I'll also be sharing a link to the club's WhatsApp group, so you can join the WhatsApp group. And now over to you, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster.
Sir, Salman sir, it's
Toastmaster
yours.
Yeah, sorry, I missed the last part from DTM.
Okay, you missed the last part. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Azam. It was really an enlightening speech for a lot of people around here. And I'm sure that it will have opened up a number of possible ways to negotiate with the banks going forward. One thing that I would like to add to the number of ways to fix this issue is to basically ask your marketing guy if the interest rate is based on the total amount for the entire period, or is it based on a declining balance as you make the payments over the number of years. Because a lot of times what they don't tell you is that this interest rate is something that is fixed at the beginning of the period. It means that regardless of your principal coming down, you keep paying the interest on the higher amount, and eventually your total burden is much higher than what is originally expected or understood by the borrower. However, the bank is legally very well protected in these kind of situations because of the documentation issues. I'm sure that we will have another session very soon, inshallah, from with Team Toastmaster Azam. We move on to the next session where we have really top-notch two speeches coming up. One of them is from the DTM Toastmaster, DTM Talha. I'm really looking forward to his speech. The evaluators are going to be for his session DTM.
Sorry, Salman, the first speech will be from Toastmaster Khurram Chishti, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Ajay.
Okay, my apologies for that. So, Toastmaster Khurram Chishti, the floor is yours.
Actually, DTM Ajay, please introduce the project, and we'll also need the panel evaluation team. So, Toastmaster Ajay, if you could take over and also enlist your team.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have, of course, DTM Ajay is the lead evaluator, but we need 4 panel evaluators. One is audio, one is visual, one is perceptible, and one is language and structure. So who would like to be the, and all of these are 1 minute evaluations each after the lead evaluation. So who would like to go for the audio evaluation? Okay.
I suggest for this speech, we can do Toastmaster Latif as audio.
Okay.
And Toastmaster Bilal as video, if he's available.
Yes. Toastmaster Bilal, will you be available for 1 minute evaluation?
On the video part.
Actually, I'm sitting with a meeting where I'm waiting for a client. So I don't know at what time he will be there. So I'm afraid maybe I wouldn't be able to do that.
All right. Oh, no worries. We can request DTM Sudarshan. DTM Sudarshan, are you here?
Yes, DTM Sudarshan is here. But that's okay.
Okay. I can do the visual. Okay, great. He's here. Okay, I'm on a call and he can do it. Okay, great. So DTM Sudarshan will do the visual. Can I request DTM Sarfaraz for the perceptible?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. एक मासूमाना सवाल है. Where is DTM Ajay?
I'm here, man.
He's right
Okay,
here.
you're here. I'm so sorry, I didn't see you. All right, great. Now we are left with the language. So would love to hear DTM Omar Farooq. Would you like to take the evaluation of language?
Language and structure.
And structure. Okay. If not DTM Umar, then I would love to hear again DTM Azam to be part of the project. Would you like to take language and structure, DTM Azam Ali?
I was already over time from the office.
Okay,
The office closed 1 hour back.
Okay. All right. How about Toastmaster Babar Ali?
Sorry, I could not hear you.
So Toastmaster Babar Ali, there is a speech going to happen. We're inviting you to be the part of the panel. Would you like to be the panel evaluator for the language part, a language and structure part of the speech, and you have to evaluate for only 1 minute. Would you like to take this?
Okay.
Great. So we have DTM Ajay. Over to you for reconfirmation.
Okay, so this is my team. For auditory, it's Latif. For visual, Sudarshan, DTM Sudarshan. For perceptibility, DTM Sarfraz. And language and structural, it's Babar Ali. So this is my team. And Khurram Chishti, from level 5, which project are you presenting today?
Yeah, 8 to 10 minutes. Which project is this? Toastmaster.
This is your leadership style.
No, but you said that it's a level 5 project, time allowed 8 to 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's the project type?
So I'm asking you because I have to read the speech objective. So that's the reason I'm asking you, Khurram, Justi.
Yeah. So the speech title is Nut in a Coconut Shell.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what's
Speech
your
title I
project?
got, objective, project objective, or the speech objective.
So yeah, just let me give you. So the speech objective is to identify the leadership role of your choice, submit the 360 evaluation resource.
Okay.
Okay.
So it must be the leading in a voluntary organization, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one. Okay. So I hope
It's a leading in a situation.
leading in a situation. Okay, that's it.
Okay, leading in any situation. Got it. Okay. So I think you have already mentioned the project objective, Khurram Justi, and I don't want to take much of your time. And the speech title is already mentioned. It's Nut in a Coconut Shell. So it's a timer. Please note that the allotted speech timing for this speech is 8 to 10 minutes. Over to you, Khurram Justi, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Lead Evaluator. Fellow Toastmaster, what the leadership is? Google says that its ability to influence and guide individual or the group toward the common goal. Over the centuries, there are more than 200 kind of traits that has been put forward for a leadership. Today, I'm going to attempt my level 5 pathway project. And I decided today that I'm going to use one of the leadership trait that is going against the status quo. Today, the speech will not be focusing on the voice modulation, hand gestures, face expressions. I'm not going to do the act as I'm expected to usually. I'm not going to talk with some imaginary person at my 45-degree. Today, we're going to talk some serious stuff. Welcome to the Toastmaster, where leaders are made. Seriously? Is Toastmaster is a candy factory where the chocolates are made? What the leadership is all about? Is it about how to learn your modulation of sound, giving a good expression on your face and hand gestures, using your stage in a better way? Is this all about leadership? I don't think so. Do you? At this stage, then, there are two questions standing. Number one, if it is not, then what the leadership is and how you can behave as a leader in a situation. And secondly, who I am to comment on these things in such a way. Let's start with the later one. I've spent, out of my 19 years of career, 90% of the time in a leadership roles across different parts of the world, being a part of UK manufacturing leadership team in Kimberly-Clark. So if anybody in this room have a good right who have seen the empirical world and the Toastmaster world, I'm the person who can rightfully speak on that. Having said that, let's talk about the leadership and the situations. Can anybody unmute himself and say and tell me what is the color, if you want to associate a color with the leadership, what color you will associate? What's the color of a leadership? Anyone?
Blue.
Blue?
Blue color?
Black.
Heck. Okay. I mean, all of you are right. You know why? The leadership has a color white. Why white? Because white is a color who have every color in it,
in an equal balance. White is a color of surrendering himself. And that's what the leadership is all about. You'll go to the curriculum and you'll see the bureaucratic leadership style and democratic and affiliative. Yes, all of them are leadership styles. And they are in an equal balance as a white color. And that's what I have learned in my 19-year of career, that leadership is all about surrendering and making a win for your team, not for you. Having said that, just recently, I have come across a very difficult situation where in the first quarter of our business, my department is suffering $10 million gap behind the target. Yes, $10 million gap. You can imagine it's a pretty awful situation. And we know that since beginning of the year, even a quarter before that, we are facing that. And we have done a lot of CTAs, call to action runs, and my team is exhausted already. And now once the Feb results have came out, there's a tremendous pressure from our management that how we can manage that. And to be very honest, many of my team members have said that, Khurram, if you talk for $1 more of transformation, we are putting our resigns. And let me tell you, here in UK, putting the resignation is not a big thing. The unemployment rate is 0.4%. There are more employees available than the jobs. So there are more jobs, sorry, apology. There are more jobs than the employees. I said it in a reverse order. So put it that way. I'm in a terrible situation. What I can do as a leader for that? What I have found a solution, and it's an interesting one. My team do not want to hear about a single dollar. And my management want to fill a $10 million gap. What I have done, I change my speech. I talk with my team and I say, let's not talk about dollar money. And I don't want to talk about dollar money. I want to have this year as a successful year. I don't care about the money. You let me know what you need in order to reach a benchmark performance. Benchmark performance is the best performance within your arena around the world. And we have run 2 days workshop where we split it into the teams and start thinking unconstrained. We need a capital. We need the more people. We need more time. We need to reject some of the business trials for the products. Let's put it on the table. But I need a benchmark performance. Forget about money. My team was highly engaged. And after 2 days, just yesterday, I have presented to my director that just by agreeing with your team, just by engaging them and not to pull them for unnecessary talks, which disengage them from the real focus, they drive few extremely out-of-the-box thinking initiatives, which obviously required some unusual business interventions. But we are now talking about 6 million of gap closure out of 10, which is a big success. Fellow Toastmasters, what was the different here? It's just the way you handle your team as your leader, as a leader. Because your team, if they do not want to do something, it is not a medieval time that you will do it under the influence of a blade. It is your team. If they win, you win. If they lose, you lose. And that's, again, in the context of Toastmaster, I want to say. Yes, hand gestures, voice modulation will make you a great communicator, which is an important part of your leadership. a great communicator, but how you will become a great leader. You'll become a great leader. Just a moment ago, when we don't have the panel evaluator, somebody from this meeting jump in and say, would you do like that? And Mr. Latif, would you be that evaluator? And you will be that evaluator? Yeah. That's how you will learn how to be a leader. You be a leader as a selfless person. And let me speak out loud today. Selfless person like Mr. Talha bin Hamid. I don't know how this man is managing all the Toastmaster stuffs all across the day and his job as well. You have to be selfless like all our district trios. You have to be selfless like my mentor, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. You take the role and there you will learn how to be a leader. Yes, you will be an excellent communicator by doing the projects. You will be a great leader when you participate as a leadership roles in Toastmasters. I get not as great, but a little chance in Toastmasters to work on that one, because my other part is extremely loaded with my leadership areas. But fellow Toastmasters, my takeaway for you today is, I don't want to put the context in a nutshell. I want to put the nut in a coconut shell. So either you can break that shell and have the nut, or you do the things as you do and keep that coconut shell as a rattle and have fun in your life. Go against your status quo. Do the things which are not usually being done in a positive way. That's what the leaders do. They challenge the status quo. I have done today. I'm keep doing in my organization. You do it in your life. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster of the day, would you be handing over the control to me, or can I take the control?
Yeah, please. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Khurram Chishti. It was a really good speech. And now I hand it over to Toastmaster Ajay with the evaluation feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Toastmaster Khurram Chishti. So as a lead evaluator, I will give my evaluation first, then I will invite my team one by one. Toastmaster Khurram Chishti, when I heard your speech title, A Nut in a Coconut Shell, I was thinking, can someone, it's okay. So when I heard about your speech title, I was thinking what you would be talking about. So you started your speech with a question like, what is leadership? And you also set the expectations of your speech that I'm not going to speak about this. I'm going to speak about these kind of things. So you clearly laid down the expectations. And you also questioned the how body language, voice modulation will help individuals to grow as a leader. And you also questioned what color of a leader is, like leadership is. You told it white color. And throughout the speech, I observed few things. You maintained a good eye contact, and your hand movement is very reasonable. And by the way, I like the coat you're wearing, and I think it might be cold out there. So, and you also shared a personal story about your team or about you covering those $6 million and coming out of that situation. And in the beginning, you mentioned that what is leadership, selfless leadership, and you took DTM Talha as an example. That's a wonderful structure, I guess. So the speech is very wonderful. Now let's move on to the areas of improvement. So when you're mentioning leadership, you said that surrender. You spoke about surrender. What I feel is a leader should not surrender. There is another word called never give up attitude. So instead of surrender, you might think about some other word but surrender is like a negative word. Okay, so you might think about the other word, replacement of that word. And while speaking about white color as a leadership quality, you could have used the background as white. It's gray in color. Okay, the background is gray. And okay, and one more last important point is what I observed is if you could have listed the qualities of a leader as per you as a background point by point, it would help us to remember, or it might help us to follow the sequence of what you are talking about. So background, white, and plus the qualities of a leader as per you or as per your project, it will help the audience to follow your speech more attentively. So these are my observations, but overall I enjoyed your speech, and I wish you all the best for your future speech projects. So thank you. As a lead evaluator, I'm closing my role, and I would like to invite the evaluator for auditory aspect, Toastmaster Latif. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you, DTM Ajay. First and foremost, Toastmaster Khurram, I really loved the way you started the speech. I was visually or audially connected, and then I heard that, is it a factory? Is it something? So I really love the way you put that audios, that mixtures in it. First and foremost, the best thing which I really loved it, you said it that, you won't be sharing something called about the hand gestures and all. I felt that what we were listening, you cleared it that you don't have to look into anything else, but just listen to it. I really love the way. Only one thing which I want to improve it is just be a little bit more faster. That I will believe, because sometimes that connection gets lost with the audience and yourself, the speaker. Thank you very much. Over to you. Good luck.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latif. And let's now move on to the next evaluator and invite DTM Sudarshan to evaluate the visual aspects. DTM Sudarshan, stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Lead Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Napoleon Bonaparte said, leadership or a leader is one that's a dealer in hope. And that is exactly what I got from Toastmaster Khurram Chishti's speech. He conveyed what he thought with credibility, with confidence and clarity. Three vital ingredients that needs to be embodied in any leader. The other aspect that I really like to look at was there was minimal disturbance. My entire attention was captured by the speaker. His attire, his demeanor, and his candor while delivering the speech all meshed together to communicate to us that it is something that the speaker speaks passionately about and is confident to communicate. Last but not least, what I really liked from a visual aspect was also the way his body, which was visible to us, was communicating. His eyes went down when required. He paused when required. And there were hand gestures which were, while not overpowering, precise and cogent to the content being delivered. The only suggestion that I would have for the speaker is when someone is so tightly wound up, it looks as if the speaker is trying to guard a great secret. It is quite all right if the speaker would have let the jacket be slightly open, because that communicates that the speaker is trying to invite us into his world. That being said, overall, from a visual perspective, I would give the speech a 10 on 10. Back to you, Toastmaster Ajay.
Thank you, DTM Sudarshan. Now let's move on to the third evaluator. So may I invite DTM Sarfaraz sir to comment on the perceptible aspect.
Thank you, DTM Ajay. And especially you, DTM Khurram. When I was asked to be a part of the evaluation team, I took a piece of paper so I could make some notes. Then you open your speech by saying, I'm not going to use any expressions or hand gestures, so I tossed the paper away. And I thought, hey, I don't have to say anything. But then I noticed you did have hand gestures. For example, when you say a great communicator, you showed some fists. And when you mentioned the color of leadership white, you had a smile on your face. So you did have gestures. I think I would say that perhaps you raise your hands a little bit more so we can see the gestures if you are going to do that. Suggestion for improvement, if you give the speech again, next time you say, I'm not going to use any hand gestures, show us your hands and then tell the audience that you are going to sit on your hands to make sure that you don't use hand gestures. Back to you, lead evaluator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And now it's time for the fourth evaluator, Babar Ali, to evaluate on language and structural part. Babar Ali, the stage is yours.
Toastmaster Babar, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, first congratulations, Khurram Chisti, for the wonderful speech, and you grabbed all my attention during all the time you're speaking, and it's good you choose a very good speech for your project. Throughout your speech, you were very conscious about your words and you were using the grammar. The structure was good, and you did correct when you were like you said there is more jobs and employees. You did correct by yourself during your speech, and nothing else I found. You did a wonderful speech. As I will conclude with the saying that it is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory, saying by the Nelson Mandela. So again, congratulations. Over to it is all from my side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank my entire team for their wonderful evaluation. And it's time for the speaker to comment or pass on the comments. Khurram Chisti, please.
Thank you very much, all the evaluation panel. It's been honor to be evaluated by all of them, especially you, DTM Sarfaraz. Just quick feedbacks. Yes, I agree that surrender is not the right thing to do, and it was actually the servant leadership is the right word. So servant leadership was missed in the speech. I agree with that. I'm not sure, and I will put more consciousness and more emphasis on the words next time. I believe I have said the speech will not focus on hand gestures. It never says it will be eliminating the hand gestures. So, thirdly, the quote is 4-button quote. I will try to do 2-button next time. DTM Sudarshan, point taken. I cannot open it much, so sorry for that. And yes, white background. I put the white background earlier, but it was also looking gray because of Zoom. I don't know why. So, but point all taken. Thank you very much, and I will focus better next time.
Thank you, Khurram Chisti. So over to you, Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim.
Thank you very much for the wonderful speech, and thank you very much for the very valuable feedback. We are running a little bit behind schedule, but I would then take the opportunity to invite quickly for the next speech DTM Talha to sort of go ahead. But before we do that, I just need to confirm the lead evaluator for the speech is going to be Toastmaster Latif. Who do you have on your team on the audio, perceptible language structure, and the visual aspect? To save some time, can we just have the same team members, or what would you recommend?
I can help in audio, visual, or language structure. It's up to.
I think let Toastmaster Latif appoint quickly. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Salman. It is my honor to be an lead evaluator for one and only distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. If I have to give a brief intro, he just achieved his 6th DTM. And if I have to tell what project he is going to deliver, it's about Icebreaker. So in Icebreaker, maximum, if you have delivered 6 DTM, means 12 parts, 13th part maybe. So this might be his 13th or 14th Icebreaker speech. And I don't know how many times he have introduced himself to different clubs, different members, different teams, various occasions. So he has always been explaining who I am or who Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid is. Before I introduce the project, I would love to have the team of evaluations, just if you can raise the hand or you can switch on the camera for the entire 4 to 6 minutes of Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid's speech. So auditory will be evaluated or will be shared by Toastmaster Umar Farooq. Visual will be, I have given this responsibility to a guest, which is guest Moiz Ali. Moiz Ali, you can, okay. If you can switch on your camera, that will be better. And Prospectable will be taken care by Distinguished Toastmaster Abrar Wani. He himself is the champion. So I believe that we will be having a good team. And Language and Structure, which we say the current champion, the national champion of Toastmaster International Speech, Pakistan, Distinguished Toastmaster Iram Rizvi. So I'll repeat
Can I please,
again.
the lead evaluator, can I please pass on my role to DTM Ajay? Sincere advice, please.
Is it allowed?
Yes.
Okay.
I have the option to accept or reject.
Okay, but I have a message that you said I am available. Anyhow, okay. So
DTM Ajay, would you be able to?
Yes, ma'am, I can. I will.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so just a small correction, or I'll repeat the team again. Auditory will be Toastmaster Umar Farooq. Visual will be guest Moiz Ali. Respectable will be shared by DTM Abrar Wani. And Language and Structure will be Toastmaster GK Ajay. So let me introduce the speaker and his project. Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid is going to be giving or performing his Pathway Presentation Mastery Level 1 Project 1. It's an icebreaker speech. And the purpose statement of this speech is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of public speaking, speech. Timer, please note. DTM Talha, you'll be the timer by yourself?
I'm not sure I can do that, but I'll put in
Okay,
the timer.
I'll be the timer. I'll be the timer.
But you need to evaluate. So
Yeah, fine. I'm good. I can watch that.
Okay, thank you so much.
So DTM Talha, over to you.
Okay.
So you want to clear your background or something?
Yeah. Actually, I want to put this up. Can everyone see this?
I can see. Yes. Oof. Wow. Yes, I can see. Okay.
Okay.
So now, Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, speech title, Vignette. Vignette, Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. Over to you. Good luck.
Imagine I just passed away. Most icebreakers start at birth, but mine will start at my death. And here I am lying in an icy morgue and breaking through. And this is my version of ice breaking. So I escaped this morgue. Of course, I am a spirit now. So I'm free of material limitations and I can go wherever I want. So where else would I go except my home. This is not the purgatory, by the way. This is what our street looks like these days. And I wander and I hover around the home and I enter it. And everyone is gathered. They're just discussing things amongst themselves. I somehow think that they would all be crying rivers of tears and refusing to eat and sleep and even breathe. But breaking news, all these things continue whether you live or die. Everything comes with the living. Nothing goes with the dead. And my mother, my wife are discussing the one pressing issue. Who will dispose of my liabilities? I'm no longer there for the payback. And my completely incompetent financial management has resulted in a ton of loans and payables. Add to that the funeral expenses. This is my den where my PC, my awards and trophies and gadgets live. I expect there that my children would be crying and touching things lovingly, that these remind me of our Baba. Instead, they're fighting amongst us. Who gets the PC? Who gets the microphone? Who gets the tripod? Who gets the camera? And this fight, ladies and gentlemen, will not end. Instead, it will only worsen as the drawers are opened, the cupboards are opened, and more things come out. These are my friends, and they've just received the news, and they're perplexed. It's the middle of Ramadan. Is that such a good time to die? How will we travel across the city to that hellhole for the funeral prayer? Let us think of an excuse. What could be a good excuse not to attend his funeral? And while they're thinking of these excuses, we float and float away and land on my alma mater, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. And here, a new crisis has been triggered. Since I've passed away on a Saturday and the institute is closed on a Saturday, there is no one to send out the obituary email. That means that the obituary email will be delayed by at least 2 days. The management of ICAP is in a flux. What if there's a protest? What if someone complains that why is this announcement coming 2 days after the funeral? We wish to go to the funeral. Moving on from ICAP, my office. And my office chief concern is so many unpaid leaves which I cannot avail of. That represents at least rupees 1 million in payables they will have to club into my final settlement. An emergency board meeting has been convened to approve this unforeseen expense. Karachi Toastmasters Club. The club is not meeting in person, and by the time it starts meeting in person after Ramadan, my death would be 3 weeks old. So there's a debate whether to hold a commemorative meeting or let the members grieve in private. We are still monitoring the situation, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get back to you as soon as a decision is reached. I leave the city and over my old home into the skies of Karachi. Along with the planes, I land at my hometown, Quetta, and my school. I hover around the building to see if there's any mention of me. A picture somewhere,
a plaque here, and I spy our headmistress. She has just received the news that someone has passed away, someone with the name of Talha bin Hamid. And she says, who? I can't bear any longer. I hover towards my old home, and in this season, Quetta is under snow. Finally, I meet my father, and I get to say to him whatever I could not say to him in his lifetime. Perhaps this is my chance. Over to you, lead evaluator.
Before I start, Distinguished Toastmaster, you will take the timer roll back. Okay, I heard it sure, though you are on mute.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Talha. I really appreciate the frank and the candid take on your post-death situation. But I mean, it's a bit too off-putting, I would say, to even consider that, please. But thank you very much. Like always, it was a pleasure hearing your speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Latif, for the evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Salman. Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, it was a mesmerizing speech, if I can say. It was unbelievable the way you have brought the icebreaker to a new level. It was something which came really, what leaders say, you have to think outside the box. Few things which I really love the way you shared. First and foremost, you started the opposite. Most of the time, people start from where they've been bought, what is the message delivered, and what more they can give to the society. And this is what all Toastmaster is all about. But I felt the way you expressed your way of, like, you've been departed from this world to the another, and what is going around with the different people. Yes, as an icebreaker, thinking from away, like, everyone knows you and everyone has the flavor of Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. I believe this was a very wonderful speech. The way you structured the speech was amazing. But I feel the end was too close. Example, if the end message was that you are going to meet your dear and dear father and share all that what you haven't spoken, that could be the most, I believe, introducing part. Like, one line should have come. I am on my way to meet my dad, but people are fighting on something else. I'm happy, the way, and then finally I reached there. So it would have given the structure to that speech. I love the humor you added, the way you added the liabilities, the way you said that the things which you love, they don't even care. The new generation, they will all be worried about who will have the remote controls and the LEDs or the systems of this, what they are most interesting in 2025. If I have to give one reason, it is a little bit too long of what people are thinking. So until 5 minutes, I feel like, what his friends are thinking, what the kids are thinking, what mother and your loving wife is thinking, what is happening in the world. But I would have loved to hear, I am happy. I'm out of this world. I'm going to meet my dad. I'm going to on another world. So something would have, mix and match would make us move along with the story. In the end, amazing work. I really love the way you have brought the idea of icebreaker speeches. I really love the way you have confidently delivered. Only one thing, if just a structure of making it to the end. Like, for example, If they all are worried, I am happy. And in the end, you would have disclosed what you are happy for. Thank you very much. And let's hear from my team, who will be giving you more feedback about your 4 to 6 minutes of speech. Toastmaster Omar Farooq will be sharing his auditory duties. Please, over to you.
Thank you, lead evaluator Latif. And what a unique way of presenting, first of all, the icebreaker in a reverse order from death to living. And Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, your voice is quite like good to listen to, like a very strong. When you started off with the imagine you are in that situation, what you will do. So everybody can be connected and engaged throughout. And you use the vocal variety as well. What if this happens? What if that happens as well? However, I would like you to emote your voice as well. Maybe when in the saddest moments, you could have lowered your voice a little. The modulation could have been there when you are talking about maybe the father and talking about maybe let's suppose the sad moment. Then when you are talking about the home or the street is not that much like in a good condition, what do you think, like in a louder way, what do you think, whose house is this? Or maybe like change your voice and try to maybe engage the audience in that way. So otherwise, excellent, like as per the vocal variety way. Keep it up. Great. Over to you, Latif.
Thank you, Toastmaster Omar, for sharing your inputs. Let's move on with the visual duties, and visual duties will be taken care by guest Moez Ali. Guest Moez, please share your duties.
Thank you very much, JM Latif. So I observed your speech and the visual aids, the slides and the pictures were very good at the speech and connected with the speech. You really did the good effort to engage the audience with your speech and the pictures. Your gestures were very good. Your body language was very good. The only problem I thought was the eye contact. I know it's very hard in the online meetings, but I was observing that you were looking down. You were looking at the screen, I think. I would hope that you would look into the camera so you can engage more from the audience and everything. That's it from me and to TM Latif. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guest Moez. I believe you are one step ahead of Toastmasters. So congratulations, a good evaluation. Let's move ahead from the champion, distinguished Toastmaster Abrar Wani, who will share the perspective of the meeting, of the speech. Over to you. Yes.
I think, Toastmaster Abrar, are you there?
Let's go to
Can
the
we
next
just-
evaluator and check
Yeah.
with him in the end.
Yeah, can we just sequence it up? Okay, so let me invite Toastmaster Ajay for language and structure. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Latif. DTM Talha bin Hamid. What a wonderful thought to deliver an icebreaker speech in a reverse order. You started your speech from death. You showed your family members and how they feel. You narrated them very well. Showed your den, that is your workstation, and you showed your pictures of your friends and alma mater and office colleagues, then Karachi Toastmasters Club and your hometown and the snow-filled Quetta, and finally showed your mom and dad. What I wanted to say is you clearly showed everything which is required in icebreaker speech in a pictorial way. So that's a wonderful thing. And the language used was a top notch, and it is very simple to understand, and the structure is very good, though it is a reverse, but very unique. So thank you. Over to you, lead evaluator, Toastmaster Latif.
Thank you, Toastmaster GK Ajay. Let's wait for DTM Abrarwani. I have just messaged him. He said that there is some technical issue. Is it okay if we can give 30 seconds to 1 minute?
I think, yeah, he got disconnected. Yes, maybe we can wait 30 seconds. Yeah. Uh, 30 seconds have passed. I think we should continue. Yeah.
Just
I can do the perceptible if required.
Yeah, why not? It's your invention.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sudarshan, actually, he's trying to get connected. Just allow 30 seconds. Just few.
Ah, okay.
He's in.
Yes, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
DTM Abrarwani,
Thank you very much. I'm extremely sorry. I don't know what happened. Suddenly I got disconnected. Thank you very much, DTM Talha bin Hamid. Wow, what a great way to present a speech. A very, once we are perceiving something to receive something regarding an introduction, that what will happen about your life, how you started. The way you started the speech with a very different perspective of representing an icebreaker speech, and that was very engaging. And I perceived it very differently, and honestly, it was very engaging for me. Starting it from your death and then carrying on from muddy street, your family, your friends, your official things, and how that message carried till your father. How great it could be if you could be able to finish a speech with a message of death, that why you can relate death with that of your icebreaker, and how it can be a message to the ultimate audience, that how they should perceive a death as an icebreaker to themselves. That could be a great addition of your speech. Hats off to you for representing and presenting a very different perspective of the speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Abrarwani, for sharing your inputs. My only doubt or my only conclusion to the distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid's speech is, though it's an out of the box speech, it's a very unique way to think about it. But if there are some gray-haired leaders who have been, dedicated to Toastmasters by heart and soul, they will say that, you have to tell about what you have, why you have joined Toastmasters, and what are you going to give back to the community, and what are your ambitions, and what are your dreams. So I believe ifs and buts are always there, but I really love the speech. And now I will give you 1 minute to share your thoughts about the whole evaluation. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, first of all, thank you to the audience for appreciating and understanding this completely unexpected speech. It was a great risk, honestly speaking, because it was not like an icebreaker at all. Also, it was quite morbid if you think about it. I tried to add humor. So, I deeply, deeply respect every improvement area that I was suggested, and I implement each and every one of them, the vocal variety part and the message part, and especially your suggestion regarding turning the ending into a twist. That I'm feeling very happy. That's absolutely genius. So I will do that. So thank you so much. All I can say is that I'm deeply, deeply grateful for everyone for having seen the speech so deeply and suggesting such great areas of improvement. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, thank you very much, DTM Talha. I really would love to say thanks to each and every one of my team to give valuable inputs. And over to you, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for the speech and the evaluation feedback. We now head to the next session, that is Geek of the Week. And our beloved DTM Toastmaster Sudarshan Sheshadri to deliver that speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Sudarshan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I am honored to follow our keynote speaker because my Geek of the Week piece is quite closely related to what distinguished Toastmaster Moise spoke about in the beginning. My whole premise of what it takes to be a good borrower is what I want to speak about. Being in banking for the past 30 years, the one thing that I come across, and a smattering of that was even heard in today's meeting. Even the keynote speaker alluded to the fact that the marketing people cheat you. People said that terms and conditions are not clear. People said that we ended up paying more interest than what we bargained for at the beginning of what we thought our loan repayment is going to be. Whether you're taking a conventional loan or an Islamic loan, there are a few cardinal rules that everyone needs to follow when you plan to borrow. And first and foremost, borrowing is the right thing to do. Why do I say that? When you are investing for a return, you put in your hard-earned money, which a lot of us earn through our salaries, some of us earn through business profits, some of us earn through inheritances, etc. Now, that is money that you need to secure for your future. Therefore, when you are planning a capital expenditure, an expenditure that is not normal, an expenditure that is going to happen with a very lengthy periodicity between two such events. To give you an example, most of us get married one time in life. Most of us build a house one time in life. Most of us probably have the reason to spend big money on illnesses, hopefully just one time in life. Therefore, these events could be spread with a wide frequency. Something could occur when you are in your late 20s to early 30s. Some other event could occur when you're in your late 30s to mid 40s. And something else could occur when you're in your 50s. So what it means is you need to be prepared, planned, and organized. To be a good borrower, first and foremost, you need to have a clean track record. For individuals, the primary objective that a lender looks at is, are you reliable to lend? And that reliability factor is looked at from two perspectives. One is, what is your habit? Are you paying your bills on time? Do you pay your electricity bill on time? Do you pay your mobile bill on time? Do you pay your internet bills on time? That tells the lender, this person is reliable enough to follow a schedule. That is the basic evaluation. Then comes your eligibility, which is on the basis of how much income are you earning? How much are your outgoings? How much is your lifestyle expense? Now, when somebody looks at all of this, they have a rule of thumb. That rule of thumb very simply states, are you good enough for me to give you some money, and would you be giving it back to me? In a lot of countries, there is something called a credit score. A credit score is arrived on the basis of your behavior. That behavior is built over a period of time, and it is continuously changing. And that change is reflected in the score that you get. In India, we call it the CRISIL score. In UAE, where I am, we call it the Al-Ittihad Beirut score. In Pakistan, I'm sure it is called something else, because I just saw this State Bank of Pakistan website and it is clearly mentioned there as well. This is something that as a borrower, you need to have an eagle's eye view on. Every day your score changes. Today your electricity bill came, you paid it tomorrow, your score will go up by 2 points. Yesterday your electricity bill came, the due date is 1 week from now, you paid 2 days after the due date, your score will go down. And when your score goes up or goes down, your lender takes an additional amount of risk. How do they take that risk? They pass on the risk to you by charging it as an interest to you. Therefore, if you maintain a clean track record, the lender will also come forth and want you in their books, therefore offer you a rate which is lower than what they are offering to riskier customers. Now, the other aspect that every lender looks at is, if your lifestyle is in a certain way defined, you live in a certain address, you have a certain size of family, you have children going to school, your parents you're supporting, they take all that into account while they calculate how much can they lend you. And the normal perspective with which a lender comes to you says that if your salary is 100 and all your lifestyle expenses are 40, you're left with 60. Out of that, the lender will say, I will allow this customer to pay me back 50, which means there is still 10 left with the borrower for running their life, especially in the case of any untoward events happening, which means the debt burden that you can carry typically ranges between 40 to 50% of your monthly income. That is where the lender will choose to be comfortable with. And that is the right thing for you as well, especially if I look at it from a salaried individual's perspective. I would very strongly look at it by saying, God forbid if you lose your job. God forbid you fall ill and cannot work for the next 3 to 6 months. And therefore, if your income is going to drop, can you sustain your life with the 30-40% that you will keep in your hand? Which means net of all regular payments, do you still have money left to live your life? Because nobody can live by paying out all 100% of what they earn to somebody else. And that is why a lender will look at you from a risk perspective. And then, of course, every lender has their own scale to benchmark risk based on age, income, profile, marital status, other ownerships, club memberships, card ownerships, depending on a plethora of things. And when you go to a lender, if you're transparent, like you are with your doctor, the lender will also be equally transparent. Last, as I conclude, the one thing that I would like to state is when you borrow, it is your duty to follow that old Latin saying, caveat emptor, which means you need to look very carefully at every line item, sign only when you are convinced, and never ever give anything which is signed by you, unread by you, because that will be used in the court of law against you, God forbid, if you are unable to repay your obligations. So it is imperative for you to make sure that you've read, understood, accepted, and assimilated all terms and conditions before you put ink on paper. That is your responsibility as a borrower and not the lender's responsibility, but the lender has got all of the documentation printed and ready for use. It's your right to ask any kind of question and take time to sign off. Never be under the pressure of time to sign off on any term that you don't understand. That is your right, your privilege, and your responsibility. With that, if you follow these guidelines, you will be a borrower who will be a darling of any lender that is coming forward to lend to you. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Ajay. Toastmaster Salman is away on a call, so I'll just hand over the charge now to our journal evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Ajay.
Thank you, DTM Talha. So in the interest of time, I will keep my report short and crispy.
First, take the language evaluator report first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake. So may I know the language evaluator, please?
I was.
Okay, sorry. Again. So may I ask you to submit the language evaluator report?
Yes, thank you so much. So everyone also please vote if you haven't, right? Okay. So today was a very unique meeting linguistically, because usually Quantum Leap meetings are focused on hard science and technology. Today it was all about the science of money and finance, and accordingly the meeting reflected that. First, I would highlight a few errors that I noticed. Someone said topic of today could have been today's theme. You will be calculated could have been you will be calculating. Banking person could have been banker. Need to understand. Someone said there is need to understand. So it could have been a need to understand. And someone said, and again, this is not exactly a linguistic problem, but during the project they said, I'm going to attend this project. So I don't think that's needed. That does take away valuable time. White is the color who. It should have been white is the color which. And someone said dollar money could have been monetary amount. And very interesting, surrender. Actually, speaker used surrender, and they were called out in the evaluation that surrendering is perhaps giving up is not an option. But I believe that speaker actually meant surrendering your ego in the interest of servant leadership rather than giving up. So that's a message I detected in Toastmaster Khurram's speech, that you should surrender your own persona, your own ego in order to make a difference in this world and in order to advance. And that also gelled with the message of his speech. Perhaps one of the evaluators misunderstood it as that other surrender, where surrender means giving up. So, and now good usage, many, but I'll just highlight a few. Balance will reduce accordingly. Easy to and through the keynote was in mostly easy to understand language. Although I may be biased because I myself am a finance professional, so but that's what I detected. Declining balance versus original amount. Challenge the status quo. Empirical right. White is the color of surrender. Loves that sentence. Nut in a coconut shell. It was a curious phrase as a title of the speech, but in the end, the speaker actually made it very clear what did they mean. And it was very, very vivid and descriptive. A dealer in hope, beautiful phrase, embodied in a leader. His attire, his demeanor, his candor in delivering the speech all meshed together. And now I'm thanking my stars that DTM Sudarshan only had a bit part in today's meeting. Otherwise, this report would have been at least an hour long, thanks to the language that he uses. So with that, over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Talha. So finally, I can move on to my role, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I will keep my report short. So the meeting started on time, and a wonderful keynote speech by DTM Azam Ali. And we had two top-notch speakers and top quality evaluators. And Geek of the Week, thank you for sharing your vast knowledge with us, and you are the best again. And I have one recommendation. So it would be better to have the evaluation team in advance before the
Yes.
beginning of the meeting. So if we keep on searching, the guests might think that we are not organized. So if we take care of this part before the meeting, or maybe 1 week, or take the commitment from the members and then ownership, it would look very beautiful, very smoothly organized. So apart from this, the meeting went really well. I hope it will end on time. So over to you, DTM Talha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think it's now TMOD's turn to wind up the session. Toastmaster of the day, are you available to wind up the session? Okay, never mind. He's still on a call. So let me just launch the poll for the best major role player. Since we are skipping table topics today, we did not have a table topics master. So please vote for your favorite role player. And let me take this opportunity to invite some comments from some of our guests. So Toastmaster Babar Ali, your thoughts about the meeting?
It was a wonderful experience for having this meeting and the new sequences. I enjoyed the speeches of all of you, and we'll hope to continue joining the meetings. Thank you.
Great. Feel free to join our guest group, and thank you for joining the meeting and enjoying it. We have quite a few guests, Mr. Saqib, Mr. Satish, Mr. Shajil Riaz, Mr. Muiz. Any one of you, please just unmute and share your thoughts about the meeting.
Yeah, so Moiz Ali Siddiqui here.
Yeah.
So the meeting was great actually. It was my first time for this international, I think, Toastmaster Karachi Club. And I not only saw the speeches, but I even participated. Thanks to my lead evaluator Latif, I participated and it was a good experience. It was a great experience. I hope to join more speeches in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and let me tell you that you did an amazing job as one of the evaluators. So congratulations on that, Mr. Shajil Riaz or Mr. Satish, Toastmaster Satish. I don't know. Please share your
Yeah, Shajil here. As this was not the first meeting as a guest, I have also attended several other meetings that I got invited to. And overall, the session was very well organized. And as our general evaluator said, that we were calling people for the roles to take up. So that's a little common practice in all the meetings, not only to this one. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the session, and that was very well organized and informative too. We came to know about certain financial terms, and yeah, thank you so much. And I am
Thank
looking
you.
forward to receiving invites for the future session too, that
Thank
we are planning as a frequent session. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Shajil Saab. And yes, of course, usually we used to have all the modular evaluators also well organized for the meeting. But due to the fact that there are so many simultaneous meetings going on, we struggled with that this time. But thank you. Yes, Toastmaster Satish, your thoughts about the meeting.
Ramadan Kareem. I
Thank
used
you
to
so much, sir.
attend meeting before also. I enjoy each and every aspect of the meeting. Your meetings were very well planned and well organized. The topics selected are very interesting. Especially, I am enjoying the meeting several occasions before. So I hope this also will be a fantastic meeting. Thank you for allowing me to express my views.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was a privilege to have you, sir, and please feel free to participate in the future as well. So this is a message to everyone that while our agendas are set in advance, but if you do participate as a guest, if you're a Toastmaster, you have a chance at being one of our modular evaluators, or of course, the table. You have a chance at our table topics as well. Today, in order to save some time, we skip that session, but in future we'll ensure that it happens. So thank you so much. And Toastmaster Salman, are you back? Okay, so let me just announce the poll results. Today, best speaker goes to Toastmaster Khurram Chishti. Congratulations. Khurram Chishti sir, thoda sa chehra kara dein. We've been missing you for quite long. Yes, and everybody, I think, your facial hair and the quotes are universally loved today. Everybody is in love with you today. So great. And today, best evaluator goes to distinguished Toastmaster Ajay. Congratulations after a tough competition, let me say. And best major role player today goes to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim. So congratulations. So great job, Toastmaster Salman. Actually, Toastmaster Salman was very reluctant to do this role, and because he said that I haven't done this, and it's very intimidating. But I think we all saw that he handled it very, very well. So thank you so much. And with that, this meeting comes to an end. I'm stopping.